Hello everyone and welcome to the Adventures of Adam. I'm Adam, let's adventure, and welcome to my free-to-play Rares Only Plus challenge. In this challenge, I'll be using only rare, uncommon, and common champions, as well as any champion who is free and permanently accessible to progress through the game. We're on day 39. CVC starts in a few hours, so by the time CVC starts, my energy will be full and I'll be ready to go. I've just been preparing for that all week. I've got 544 medals to start filling out my Great Hall. Now, if your objective is to get Arbiter as soon as possible, the best thing to do is to funnel all of your medals into one thing and then go straight to 10. That's not my objective. I will get her eventually. She does fall within the parameters of this challenge. My primary objective is to balance my account as well as possible. I'm going to need Armigers, my High Katoon, their Spirit Affinity, my War Maiden as Force. The majority of my Clan Boss team is actually going to be Magic, which is a little concerning if I ever have to face Force Clan Boss, but that's a bridge I'll cross when I get there. So yeah, I'm just trying to bolster everything evenly to make it easier for me to gear champions. So that's the Great Hall. And speaking of Arena and Great Hall, I'm up in Gold 3 currently. I finished in 3. I don't know if I can beat that kind of mark. And surprisingly, I don't know how I did it, but I've ranked up into Bronze 2 Tag Arena with this defense. So that's insane. So I'm going to be able to pump out a lot more CVC points, and you can see it's exactly as I mentioned. Once you get into Bronze 2, you could hang out in the gutter and just feed off these one-man defenses, because the people in Bronze 2 know how to play the game. So this is a huge relief. This is going to be so much easier this week than it has been, and on top of that, I get more silver bars per victory than I would in Bronze 1. So it's going to make getting my Drexlar Blood Twin fragments... Damn. I should have bought that like 2 hours ago. I need to set my alarm. That sucks. Anyway, that's damn. My alarm went off to remind me, and then I got distracted and I forgot to do it. That's a huge bummer. But in terms of Drexlar and Yakarl the Scourge, we got 33 for Drexlar, and we're up to 17 for Yakarl. So these are going to be massive for this account, as you can imagine. In terms of dungeon progression, I can now officially farm Stage 15 Minotaur. This 2 minutes 30 seconds is my best time. It usually takes closer to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This one was like the perfect run where my War Maiden somehow never died and she was able to keep decreased defensive on everybody, and it just made the run so much faster. Haven't made much more progress in Ice Golem. We're still 12 is my safest. I can do 13, but 12 is my safest stage there. Dragon, I can do 15, but 14 is where I've been farming because it's just a little bit safer. This got a little sketchy a few times, and in terms of the turn attack, I was getting more points for 14 than I was 15, so I wanted to just finish the event as soon as I could with as little energy spend as possible. I'm not doing anything in Fire Knight yet, really. This is just... I wanted to see how high I could go without building a special Fire Knight team, and this, so I haven't really put any work into Fire Knight, but I'm getting close, because something I did do on Saturday, some of you may have already known if you tuned into the live stream, is I was working on a Scarab Lord team, and I haven't beat it. I always do that, I clicked the wrong button. I haven't beat it yet, but I got really close, and I honestly believe the difference between beating it and not is getting my High Katoon booked, which I plan to do during CVC. This will increase my chances of reducing the turn meter on the A3. It will increase the likelihood that I place decreased speed on her A1, and it also reduces the cooldown of the turn meter boost and increased speed buff to keep my Armigers moving fast enough to drop the turn meter. And I think once I get High Katoon booked out, I'll be able to do it. Unfortunately, because of my schedule and when CVC starts and ends and all that stuff, I won't be able to show you guys until next weekend, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get there. But this is my team. You can build this team yourself. You don't necessarily need Metal Shaper, you just need a champion whose shield buff, the duration of it lasts the same as the cooldown. So 2-turn cooldown, 2-turn buff duration. There's a few champions who can do it, but Metal Shaper is the only rare who can. So obviously that's who I'm using for this Rares Only Plus challenge. And then Shield Guard is my wave nuker, and he also helps. It's the small version of decreased speed, but it's nice if he can place it to give Haikatoon time to place her big version with her A1. So we have plenty of books for Haikatoon, that's not going to be an issue. So hopefully that'll be the difference maker in beating Scarab King or not. Since I've got the Armorgers already geared, they're going to come into play on my Fire Knight team when I'm ready to start building that team. But it takes a lot of resources to 6-star someone, and that's not a current priority on my account. However, I did put up a survey on my community page this week asking... Now what's funny is I did the math, rough napkin math on this first. I just wanted to see where you guys were at. I wanted to see what you guys thought before I did this video. So, the premise was, if you had only room for one, who would you choose between Gravechill Killer or Petrifia Rockroot on your clan boss team? I assumed the majority would say Gravechill, because that was my first thought, but then I did some rough napkin math, assuming that my clan boss team lives for 25 turns, who would do the most damage? And Petrifia does, like, I'm talking only poison damage, by the way. So it was like 1.1 million damage to like 1.3. So it's only a very small margin between the two. So technically Petrifia would bring more poison damage. It depends on but my initial thought was that I can get both on my team, and that's what I was thinking to do at first. But because Petrifia's poison sensitivity is on a 4-turn cooldown, it makes for a really awkward interaction with Gravechill's A3, because this is on a 3-turn cooldown. So I'd either have to only partially book it so they sync perfectly, or run Petrifia on a 4-3. So in relation to Gravechill, she's using it every 3 turns, so which would actually give me more damage overall. But I don't have the gear to do that right now. My fastest champion is Haikatoon, and she's only 220. And I think you need at least like 224 speed to do a 4-3 turn ratio. It's like the bare minimum. So I don't have the gear for this yet. And I definitely won't be able to do it in lifesteal. My Haikatoon's in 6 pieces of speed gear. So in terms of how much damage they deal, it's actually remarkably similar. Like, it's only a couple 100,000 damage. So because of that, what I think I'm gonna do, and there's a number of factors here, but factor number 1 is, if I pull Frozen Banshee will 100% replace Petrifia. And then if I pull Frozen Banshee, then Gravechill Killer is 100% better. So I will likely pull Frozen Banshee eventually. So because of that, I'm going to 6-star Gravechill before Petrifia, because it's... And another reason why, Gravechill Killer I already have this 3-star blessing for, which is not nothing. Like, the Phantom Touch damage is like kind of whatever, like it scales off her attack, but I'm not going to be building tons of attack. The real thing that comes... The real thing is the 2250 HP and the 300 defense. Like 300 defense on this champion whose base stats, like at level 60, she only has like, it's slightly less than 1,000 defense. So that's actually going to go a really long way towards making her a lot tankier. Oh, not even 900 defense. I think it's Frozen Banshee who's got... yeah, Frozen Banshee has 1,000. So another reason that makes Frozen Banshee better than Petrifia is just better base stats. But yeah, this 300 defense is really going to bolster her and make her a lot tankier for clan boss. So between those two factors, I think even though Petrifia is marginally better, long term, I think Gravechill is the way to go. and I think Grave Chill's the way to go. However, I don't know if she's going to be my next 6-star. Also, since I talked to you guys last week, I did 6-star my Haikatoon. I 6-starred Coffin Smasher during the Champion Training event. I got my Legendary Book. And then I've already got 4 more of these cooking. And as soon as these hit 40, I already have the food on standby to make my next 6-star. And who I believe that's going to be is Longsword Torx. The reason I want to do Longsword Torx is because as I'm starting to push higher into dungeons, I'm going to need crowd control because my gear is not that good. And I don't want to farm gear at lower stages until it's good enough to push higher. I'd rather have a crowd control champion to kind of cheese my way up through the ranks. Because right now, I think 15 is the highest I can do on Dragon. And I think he's a really good champion, and I would like to spotlight him to show how good he can be. And he's going to have a little bit of game in Clan Boss because he gives the increased defense to everyone, and he also puts up Leech. And for Fire Knight, when I'm ready to get Fire Knight, because he does increased defense on the whole team, it's just a small version, but it still counts. This Faultless Defense blessing is going to make him really good on Fire Knight. This reads, whenever an enemy attacks an ally under an increased defense buff placed by this champion, reflects a portion of the damage back to the attacker. The amount of damage is irrelevant, it's just the fact that it reflects damage nonetheless. So, he's going to put up increased defense on everybody on a 3-turn cooldown. Increased defense goes up, Fire Knight attacks. As soon as he does, it's going to take 5 charges off the Fire Knight shield immediately. So instead of having to knock off 10 charges, I only need to knock off 5, which means I'm not going to need like a Cold Heart to take the shield down. I'll be able to do it with him, an Armiger, maybe 2 Armigers, and then whoever else, I don't know. But the fact that he just crowd control is going to make it so my little Armiger guys don't get killed on our way to the boss. And I think he's just going to be really good, and he's a decent damage dealer too. So I think Longsword Torx is my next 6-star, and we'll be working on him as soon as these guys are ready, in about 2 days. So I actually need to rank him up to 5 stars soon and get the food ready, so I'll be able to do that ASAP. I haven't made really any more progress in Faction Wars. However, once I get Longsword Torx to 6-star, I think I'm going to be able to get another team up to stage 13, which is important for getting the 3 to 4-star glyphs and the legendary forge material. So that's another faction sort of at the where you want to be as a minimum for your Faction Wars. I wouldn't make it a super high priority to get all your factions here, but it's something that should be in your peripheral at all times. Like, the more factions you get here, the better off you're going to be. Better glyphs, better forge materials, which means better perception gear and stuff like that. I think Longsword Torx is going to be a great Faction War carry. Clan Boss finally got to a 2-key hard. Now, I got hosed today by RNG, where my first key was like 6 million, and my third key was like 5, like enough that I would have 2-keyed, but my second key only did like 4.5 million. So if I would have got better RNG, or if I would have been watching it more closely, I could have canceled the key and tried for a 2-key, but I whiffed. So no 2-key today. So we'll do a let's try to do Brutal. I managed to pick up the, what chest was it? I think I got a Guardian chest yesterday. Because I was able to put 2 keys into it. But I'll do a quick run on Brutal so you guys can see my Clan Boss setup. So this is what I'm using right now. It's not speed tuned. It's just I'm trying to speed boost and do as many turns as possible. What I need to do is put Steadfast Mastery on my Haikatoon and try to get it so my Shield Guard takes the stun instead of Haikatoon, because I don't have it's hard, because it's not speed tuned, I'm not really going to be able to consistently cleanse the stun. But you can see with decreased defense and weaken, War Master and Giant Slayer procs are doing like 82,000 damage. Of course, it doesn't trigger when I was talking about it. Keep an eye on Shield Guard. He's going to be the next to go who has War Master. No, okay. Now Aethel maybe she'll get a Giant Slayer proc. Or not. I mean, that's fine too. Oh, Aethel's taking the stun because it's forced. That makes sense. Weaken isn't up currently. There it is. Okay, 82,500, 82,548. So those, like, that's why I'm really focused on getting masteries. That's where all my energy is going now that I've finished with the Dragon tournament. The turn attack thing. I got my shard. And I've got like 13 or 14 ancient shards that I'm going to open during CVC. Normally, I would not recommend doing that. But because I'm not ever going to complete temporary fusions on this account, I'm not worried about saving shards. Temporary fusions are not allowed on this specific challenge. So if you're just playing the game like normal, you should save your shards for fusions, because that's oftentimes the gatekeeper for most people. But without Weaken, I don't know if you saw there, but the War Masters only do about 66,000. So with decreased, like, Weaken gives me an extra 20,000 damage on all of my War Master hits. So that's why I started with Aethel instead of Kael, because I knew eventually I would pull other poison champions. But Aethel is the only rare in the entire game who has a 100% chance to place Weaken. So she's pretty special in that regard. You can see War Maiden does not have Giant Slayer or War Master, so she's not getting huge heals off her lifesteal. And it's just the heals from Reliquary Tender who are keeping her up right now. Well, she's down, but she was up. That was the only thing keeping her in the fight, really. Same thing with Haikatoon. Haikatoon doesn't even have lifesteal. So not my best key. Obviously, Force is not the best affinity for me. With Aethel taking the stun, that's not ideal. Okay, is that even a chest? 2.4 million. I don't think it is. No, yeah, okay. I could have done normal, but I wanted to show you guys brutal. I was able to 2-key to get this warrior chest yesterday, so that was nice. Hydra, I'm just so not even close to anything. Yeah, 100. Oh, I'm in the way. 186,000 damage. But we'll get there eventually. I do want to work on this eventually, because Mithrala is within the parameters of the challenge being permanently accessible to all players. Alright, I waited a few hours for CVC to start, and now that it's finally started, I'm going to crack these shards. I don't think I'm going to pull the Sacred, unless my clan is really far behind, and I think pulling that Sacred will be the difference between a victory or defeat. Doesn't really matter who. So we're looking for Soulbond Bowyer from the Ancients, Marked, Gnarlhorn, Myrmidon, or Frozen Banshee. And then, so let's see if we can get any of those. This is going to be my first 10 pull on this account. I have not been able to save up. Oh, that's a lot of points. 10,000. I must have got a new epic. Yeah, okay. We got a second Ghoulish Ranger, which is not bad because I'm going to need multiple Hydra teams. Okay, 4 more shards. We're really looking for Frozen Banshee, Myrmidon, Gnarlhorn, Marked, or Soulbond Bowyer. Lumberer. Not that good. This guy looks familiar. Oh yeah, he was in our 10 pull. Okay, that was the first guy we got. Okay, Stout Axeman. He's like a worse bulwark kind of. What does she do? Life Taker. I've got a Life Taker already. Okay, well, let's pop these voids. So we're looking for Bellower, Selenia Nightcloak, Veteran, Seducer, or Coldheart. Let's see what we can do here. That's my third Painsmith, which is really annoying when you think about how many voids I've pulled, that I've pulled 3 of the same rare already. And there's so many I haven't pulled. And then, at least it's new. Okay. 60, 70, 85% chance of placing a bomb on a... Why is it only an 85% chance? That's so stupid. I got excited for a second because I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm always thinking about Bommel. Okay, well, that was rough. That was a rough summoning. That was rough. But, you know, they got me. It's a gotcha game, and they got me. At least we're free to play. We didn't lose any money. It was just... No. I can't even. I was thinking about buying more with gems, but I don't even have enough gems. Oh well. Rats. Maybe next time. Well, that's going to do it for me, guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to follow this series, make sure you subscribe. And thank you for watching till the end. Hopefully, I'll see you in another video soon. But until next time, take care.